Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to this cricket happening show on Saturday. And as you all know, I would have observed that every Saturday my cricket happening show is a bit late. There are reasons for that because I'm working, so the timings are different, so I don't get time. So once I come back from my work, I start giving the cricket report. Well, as you know, what I'm going to do in this report, we are going to look at the second day's play. What an interesting turn it has taken. In fact, the other day we saw that Australian bowlers were all fire and brimstone bowling out South Africa for 225. But well, let me tell you, South Africa, in their quest to keep the mace, what they did is they dealt severe blows to Australia and rolled them out for 163 and then played in absolute one-day mode, especially hashim Amla, who would be resuming the innings today on a princely 99, and Graeme made 84, but I'll talk about that. And then we'll also look at some a brief preview probably of the second one-day international, which is coming up between Bangladesh and West Indies. As you know, Bangladesh are one up in the series. So as you know, Saturday it's a bit late always, as you all know. So stumps on day 2. Now just look at what happened on the second day. Well, today South Africa would be resuming at 230 for 2. They are already 293 runs in the lead, 292 runs in the lead after that lead that they took. And hashim Amla is he's marching towards his century. He's 99 not out. I'm sure he would have spent a sleepless night, because any person who's playing on 99 would definitely spend a sleepless night. So hashim Amla would be longing to get that single run, and you know the cheers will go around the ground here at the Wacker in Perth when hashim Amla will get to that magical figure. And what a player hashim Amla is turning out to be. Well, as far as Australia are concerned, as you know, Australia had resumed at the overnight score. They had lost 2 wickets. They had David Warner and Nathan Lyon in the middle. Nathan Lyon was quickly wrapped up. In fact, it was a very good performance by South Africa. The South African bowlers almost doing what the Australian bowlers did, but I would say they were far not effective. I would say they were far more probably more superior than the Australian bowlers, and they dealt severe blows and they rolled out Australia for 163 on the second day itself. In fact, it all started with Nathan Lyon, the night watchman, dismissed by Dale Steyn for 7. Dale Steyn was the one who started making inroads on the second morning. He picked up the wicket of Nathan Lyon that made it 35 for 4. Ricky Ponting, he has one more innings, but yes, in this particular innings, Ricky Ponting failed. Even though it was his farewell match here, he still has another second innings score, but Ricky Ponting was gone as he couldn't read a ball from Vernon Philander which came in. He was LBW, bowled Philander for 4. So that made the score 43 for 5. And Michael Clarke, who scored 2 double centuries in the last 2 matches, is absolutely gone. He actually got a very good ball from Steyn, which he actually nibbled outside the off stump. De Villiers did the rest. Michael Clarke was walking, caught De Villiers, bowled Steyn for 5, and the score read 45 for 6. After that, there was a partnership. In fact, David Warner was also gone. In fact, before Nathan Lyon was dismissed, it was Dale Steyn who actually picked up the wicket of David Warner for 13 with 2 boundaries. And as I said, they were reeling at 45 for 6. And then it took Michael Hussey along with Matthew Wade to bring a sort of some stability into the proceedings. Not much. Michael Hussey was really pinned to the crease, but as far as Matthew Wade was concerned, Matthew Wade was playing in very aggressive manner. In fact, that's what enabled the Australian score to go on to that 100 mark. But at the score of 100, Morne Morkel came in and struck as he picked up the wicket of Michael Hussey, who was gone. Caught my Smith of the bowling of Morkel for 12, and once again the Australians were 100 for 7. And then Matthew Wade got good company from John Hastings, who was actually making his debut. And well, I thought John Hastings played a very good knock. In fact, he really stayed there. He also played some good strokes. In fact, Hastings hit 3 consecutive boundaries in a single over. I think it was of Morkel. One has to really I'm not so sure about it, but he hit 3 consecutive boundaries in a particular over. And Matthew Wade, as I said, he was really wading into this South African bowling, but he was the one who was the highest scorer with 68. But He has done all the hard work. He has done everything. The partnership was blossoming. In fact, from 100, the score went on to 140. But Matthew Wade, this time, it was Peterson coming in, the left-arm spinner, with the bounce. As you know, he's making a comeback into the South African side, and he made it really count. As he first picked up the most vital wicket, because Matthew Wade was sort of a thorn for South Africa. But Peterson came in and quickly wrapped it up. In fact, he picked up the wicket of Matthew Wade first, who was clean bowled for 68 with 7 fours and 3 sixes. Hastings was in fact, Mitchell Johnson was the next to go, as he was clean bowled by Peterson for 7. And then it was Peterson, bowled Peterson, as John Hastings, the debutant, was dismissed for a very useful 32 of 58 balls with 4 fours. He was Peterson, bowled Peterson, and Mitchell Starc not out on not, 163 all out, thus giving away a 62-run lead to South Africa. And look at the bowling, what South Africa did. Dale Steyn, 16 overs, 4 maidens, 40 runs and 4 wickets. In fact, he was the one who started it all in the morning by picking up David Warner and Nathan Lyon. And then Vernon Philander picked up the retirement guy, Ricky Ponting, 16 overs, no maiden, 2 for 55 for him. Moni Morkel picked up the wicket of Michael Hussey. As you know, he has also been in some form. He has hit 2 consecutive centuries. So he picked up the wicket. It was very vital. So he was very economical too. 13 overs, 6 for 19 runs and 1 wicket. And Robin Peterson came in and cleaned up the tail. But very importantly, picked up the wicket of Matthew Wade. 8.1 overs, 1 maiden, 44 runs and 3 wickets. And Australia would have never thought, in fact, that they would be, bowled out for 163. But it happened. So they were bowled out for 163. And then what happened was it was the South Africans getting on to the middle to play, and let me tell you, South Africans, well, they started off not in a very good manner. In fact, they were definitely pumped up after getting a 28-run lead, and probably one was thinking that South Africa are going to have a very cautious approach, and they already have 63 runs, but things were pretty different. In fact, the first wicket to go was Alvaro Peterson, and what a wicket that was. Not only the wicket credit definitely goes to Mitchell Johnson, but what a catch it was. It was one of those brilliant catches that Johnson had to really run in. He had to dive and take the catch. Yes, he did that. He was the one who provided the breakthrough by getting Alvaro Peterson caught and bowled of his own bowling for 23 with 4 boundaries, and the South African score was 28 for 1. But after that, what happened was something which probably Australia would have never expected. But let me tell you, Graeme Smith and Hashim Amla combined in a beautiful partnership. In fact, as I said, they were playing in absolute one-day mode. The way they played, in fact, the reason that South Africa were sitting pretty on the second day at close of play at 230 for 2 was absolute thanks to that partnership, that a very wonderfully carved out partnership. In fact, if you look at it, it was a partnership that yielded 178 runs for the second wicket. And Graeme Smith, well, he definitely, as you know, he tries to really work the ball well. He was doing that too, and he was also stroking the ball on the offside. He was making use of the cut shot that he plays well. His pushes down the ground. And Hashim Amla, what to say, what a classic player he is. All his fours that he was hit was a real treat to watch, and the spectators definitely get the worth for their money. And I think South Africans are really, the South African team is, as you know, is really blessed with that stroke play of Hashim Amla, who is really, it's when he gets his bat, it is like a magic wand. And he also started stroking the ball to all parts of the field, and both of them were looking absolutely majestic. They were not troubled at all. In fact, the person to suffer under their blade was Mitchell Starc, who bowled well in the first innings, but in fact he gave away 76 runs. So that is absolute one-day cricket there. 10 overs bowled by Mitchell Starc. He gave away 76 runs, but yes, he definitely had a hand in getting rid of Graeme Smith after the partnership had grown to great proportions at 206 for 2. At that time, Graeme Smith was gone, as the partnership was broken by Mitchell Starc. He was caught by Lyon of the bowling of Starc for 84 with 13 beautifully hit boundaries. Hashim Amla was batting on a very princely 99 not out with 10 boundaries, delectably timed. and Hashim Amla was a real delight to watch. Jack Scalise came in and he picked up a very quick 17 to his name at stumps. He was unbeaten on 17 with 3 boundaries, but Hashim Amla 99 was really studded with 10 boundaries. And as I said, they were not in any trouble, and one was wondering how the wicket was playing, but basically what one saw was that Graeme and Amla were having it so easy that nothing troubled them. It was really surprising to see that they really gauged the pace and bounce of the wicket very well. They learned their lessons probably in the first innings, and in the second innings what they have done is they have put up a great score. For South Africa, they are 292 runs ahead, and probably trying to make sure that the mace remains with South Africa, and South Africa remain number 1 in the ICC Test rankings. But Australia will definitely be liking to do something different on the morrow, that is on the 3rd day, where they would like to go on the top of the ICC Test rankings and give a perfect gift to Ricky Ponting in his farewell Test match. Whether they're going to do that remains to be seen. Yes, and probably in some time I will be seeing the resumption of the play on the 3rd day. Hashim Amla is not out on 99 with 10 fours. Scalise is not out on 17 with 3 fours, 230 for 2, and we are only on the 3rd day, and the second innings of South Africa is going. So there's a definite result in this match. Mitchell Starc 10 overs 1 for 76. Shane Watson 5 overs 2 maidens none for 17. Mitchell Johnson 7 overs 35 runs, and that brilliant wicket of Peterson with his cotton bowled. Hastings 8 overs went for 47. In fact, Hastings and Mitchell Starc were the ones who really had to bear the brunt of the batting strokes of Smith and Amla. And Nathan Lyon bowled 7 overs 1 maiden none for 38. Hussey bowled 1 over, which cost him 11 runs. Now let me tell you something here. Now, as far as this particular match is concerned, what we are seeing is we are just going to watch how things are going to pan out, whether Australia are going to pick up some quick wickets, or whether South Africa is going to swell this lead. That is very interesting. It's very too early to say, but only 38 overs. Just see what South Africa have done to Australia in 38 overs. Absolutely, this is absolute one-day stuff here. 230 for 2 at close of play on the second day of the final test. They are going at 6.05 runs per over. Imagine they are just playing like a one-day match here. Well, anyway, now I'm going to turn the attention here to the brief preview of the Bangladesh versus West Indies second one-day international coming up. All eyes will be on West Indies. They have to really, I'm sure they would have learned their lessons, and they would come up a much better team and a much better performance. But I think West Indies are going to probably retain the same team. Probably whether Andre Russell, I suppose they'll be retaining the same team. As far as Bangladesh are concerned, what are they going to do? In fact, I was a bit surprised that Bangladesh didn't have Ziaur Rahman in the side. He was a very good hitter of the ball, and in the other match also he hit some very good sixes. He's a very burly guy who really likes to hit the ball to great lengths. Bangladesh, well, they will be absolutely tails up after beating West Indies in the first one-day international. They would like to consolidate on that lead that they're getting, and one has to hope it will be very interesting to see how West Indies are going to face the Bangladeshi spinners, and especially Sohail Ghazi, who has been a real sort of a storytelling for Bangladesh, because he has been looking very impressive on his debut, whether it's a test match or one day. He has been doing he has been performing in an admirable fashion, and one has to wait and watch what is the ploy, what is the strategy that West Indies adopt today to play Sohail Ghazi, and especially Chris Gayle, such a wonderful hitter of the ball, and he has been always been giving his wicket to Sohail Ghazi, and I'm told in Bangladesh his highest has been only probably 35 runs. So he'll definitely like to turn that in the reverse and probably get up a century or something like that. Well, on this note, dear fans, friends and subscribers, as my YouTube broadcast is coming to an end, I am putting an end to this cricket show for today, but I'll be back tomorrow with a full match report on both these matches. Until then, it's good night from your host Ram. Thank you.